Hello, agents. My name is Matthew Wood, and welcome to Shaken, Not Stirred.
You'll be forgiven a judgment. No, 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 not the first time I've fallen for a spy. Do you expect me to talk or do you expect me to die? It's like you're looking in the mirror and changing direction. Do you feel the connection between you and I?
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our 003rd Shaken, Not Stirred live James Bond show. Now, Nick unfortunately can't join us today. He's on a special mission, playing a shit in the hole at the moment. So he's elsewhere. And I'm going to be joined today by another very special guest, someone who always keeps himself very, very busy. And he's a very popular person at the moment. So, Warren Ringham, the multi-talented musician, Bond fan, and founder of Cuda Music, who are embarking on their biggest show yet. And it just gets bigger and bigger. So, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Warren Ringham. Hi, Warren.
Hello. Hi, Matt. Hello, everybody watching. What a wonderful intro. Thank you. I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy after that one. slightly overcooked it, I think, but lovely words all the same. My
No,
wife
that's
wouldn't
right.
say I'm multi-talented. She said I've got like one. She'd probably say I've got about one skill.
Well, multitasker then, because we know you're good at that.
I'm good at multitasking. I'll give you that one. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
that. I'll take that accolade.
Thanks for joining us tonight. It's a lovely evening, isn't it? So it's quite a nice one to chill
Raining
out on a
here.
Sunday. Well,
It's
apart from
raining
that,
here.
yeah.
You might hear it in a minute. If it starts chucking it down on my window above me, it'll come through.
So some nice sound effects there. Let's say hello to a few people. So we've got Rebecca Andrews. Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, Becca.
Julian. He's on the train home. Well, hopefully you get home all right and the signal does hold up. But yeah, so basically what we're going to do, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. We're going to talk
Yeah, we've
about
got a lot to get through.
Tudor music, Bond news, and lots of events have happened in the past couple of months. So we're going to go for all of that. And then we're going to play a few tracks, answer a few questions. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But first of all, what we're going to start with, we are going to start with an interrogation. It's always
Drum roll.
usually works out okay. So basically, what the interrogation is, you get a minute to answer as many questions to do with Bond as you can.
Okay.
And these questions could be based on anything. It could be, best film, or I try not to do best too much because it gets a bit generic. But yeah, we'll try to do a few things like that. Let's get the old timer up.
You said the record. You told me beforehand the record is 6 so far.
It is 6, yeah. The record is 6, and I think you can beat that. I think it's doable. Definitely.
Yes. I hope to break
Definitely.
it.
I'm just trying to get prepared because I know you're up for this, and it's going to be a quick fire kind of situation here. So let's see if I can get this in the stream. First of all, would be handy. Let's have a look. Oh, it's not working. Right. Oh no, this is a good start, isn't it? Everything was here and prepped, and now it's.
My minute.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, go quick!
Right, I'm going to pause it. Right, here we go.
Thank goodness.
Okay. That was tense. So that's basically a run.
That would have been a second of my time, Matt. Come on.
That would have, yeah, I know that would have been ridiculous. Right. Okay. 6. So you got 6 questions. I reckon you could do this. I've got this feeling. I'm going to be the one under pressure here. I've just got this feeling. Right. Let me. Right. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
I'll give you a countdown. and I'll just do the first one.
Just go
3,
for it. Go on, I can take
2,
it.
okay. Go. Favourite one-liner?
Do you expect me to talk?
Oh, great one. Greatest stunt?
The golden barrel roll.
Oh, fantastic. Best track from a film?
Taxi driver.
Yeah. Most enjoyable moment of a Bond film?
Parachute opening, Spy Love Me.
Iconic moment?
Iconic moment. The laser and Goldfinger.
Brilliant. Greatest underwater sequence?
Thunderball. Thunderball.
Yep. Excellent. Best villain? Goldfinger. Absolutely, out doubt. Favourite 2 Bonds?
Sean Connery and Craig.
Yeah, good. Person you would like to play Bond in the future?
Henry Cavill. Controversial.
Yeah. Person who you would make a great villain?
Can't hear you. The music's too loud.
Sorry. Person who'd like to make a great villain?
Mark Strong.
Oh, great one. Love that. Okay, so what I've written down here, I'm pretty sure this is correct here. I've been writing them down.
I tell you what, Matt, if you ever do it again, you've got to turn the music down. I could hardly hear you.
You know what? That was my fault. I usually turn it down, but for some reason,
got another question.
It was,
there we go.
I reckon you could have, to be fair. But you know what? I think you've got
7. I think it was 7 or 8.
I think you got 11.
Did I?
11 there. Yeah, you got 11. I'm pretty sure because I was writing them down. I was actually losing track. Oh no, no one's going to beat that. That was that was immense stuff. I had. Let me see. I had 8 written down, and then I had to think on my feet. So yeah, cheers for that. That was good.
Yeah.
Basically, what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna have a chat about lots of things that have happened in the community. There's been a lot of things to talk about at the moment with events going on. There was a big one last night that lots of you got involved with. There was a big one last month as well. So we're going to go through it all and talk about all the things that have been happening and just news stories. So let's see if we can get this sorted. Okay, so let's add that in. Should be. Oh, this is always the way when you try and do something. Right, let's try this again. If it doesn't, what we do is we'll just talk about the stuff anyway. But I did have some pictures, so let's see if we can do this. Okay. Right, should be. I think we have liftoff. Should be on screen. Okay, right, here we go. That's the worst picture probably George ever, actually. It's the smallest picture, if anything. Right. I mean, I've got to mention this briefly because it was a bit bizarre. Do you remember like last month when apparently George had passed away and it just went viral and we hadn't had an official film for Manders, his agent, or anybody?
Yeah, I think I would say that I was one of the chief firefighters that afternoon. I just happened to be around when it was going, and I was just searching on Facebook for people that were writing about it and just going on there and saying it's not true. I mean, at the very least, when we start with, it was like I can't really see this can be true because it was on the Monday and the Saturday and Sunday we'd been with Anders all weekend, his agent and his friend, at the Octopussy 40 event, and Anders was like, having a great time, partying at the disco and all of that stuff. And you think, I don't think he'd be doing that if George Lazenby had just passed away. And it said he died on Saturday night or something. And I just happened to be around when it first just started. It's one of those things. Social media, as great as it can be, it can also be the worst thing in the world for things just gathering pace, which are just nonsense. And there's always a bit of a rush whenever a celebrity passes to be the first one to get the RIPs on board. And and I think that was the case with that one. But eventually, it got so big that I think somebody did contact Anders, and Anders just went, no, it's rubbish. And then it started to quite quickly dissipate. But yeah, it was. I mean, I suppose there was some people were saying, well, this all happened with Tanya Roberts as well, didn't it? When it spread that she'd passed away, and then it was like, oh no, she hasn't passed away, but she actually had. It was, and so people were saying, oh, you don't know, he might have done. So for all the great things that social media does do, things like that just really where it lets itself down.
And it's frustrating. Obviously, it's sad as well, because there could be obviously family, friends on there, and they're probably thinking, well, hang on a minute, So for everyone's point of view, it's always a negative thing. I always think you should wait for an official announcement or official source before these things come up. But anyway, wish George all the best anyway. I'm sure he's sitting there drinking away.
Yes.
Probably not watching this, may I add, but probably having a great time nevertheless. Okay, we have to talk about this one. Coming up. Why is it growing up again? This one here. Now, Octopussy event, 40th. You was there, weren't you, Warren, for the 40th?
Yeah, I was.
Fantastic event. I wasn't there, unfortunately, because it clashed with other things that I had going on, which I was absolutely gutted about. But this sort of sums it up for me. Obviously, Andy Bradford here.
Yeah.
And he just on the day he just went and done this. What actually happened in this bit here?
Well, I didn't see this specific bit, but I was down there when they were just reenacting a few bits. There was the bit when when Mishka and Grishka come through that sort of gate. And that was, a very, very cool moment. But yeah, I mean, as has happened before I've seen it with George Lazenby out in Switzerland and what have you, they really get involved, and Terry Mountain did, and it's nice when they do that. And likewise, that they all did here, and just kind of just getting involved with the fans and reenacting a few scenes. And clearly, this is the bit when he's gets the knife in the back and falls into the river. So
and I must add, there was a great JBR recreation of that.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
seen it around. that was absolutely amazing.
I think it's on the JBR page, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I haven't actually got that here, but if you want to check it out, head over to JBR page. I'm sure it'll be on there. And Graham said he's even wearing a clown's red nose. That's a great touch. That.
Well, they actually gave one of those to everybody that attended, and somebody said about
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and somebody said to at some point in midway through the first day, they said to Martin, "Oh, would it be good? Are we going to have a photo with everybody with their red noses?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I don't know why I didn't think about that." And I just don't think it was time to kind of to get that into the weekend. But we all had one in our little welcome pack.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, as far as things go, it was a great weekend, and look at that amount of money raised, over £4,000 for the Nene Valley Railway, which is that's what Bond's all about. This community, it's not only just going to these great events and setting them up and coming together, but it's raising money for fantastic causes.
Did you see? Have you got a picture there of the gorilla?
No, I actually haven't. No, there was a few. I know there was a great one with AJ with the gorilla. If you've seen
who the gorilla was?
I actually don't know. Who was it?
Ding, ding,
actually,
ding, ding.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Well, Martin asked a couple of days before. Martin said, "I need a really big favor." I was like, "Okay, yeah. What is it?" And he said, "Oh, I need someone to dress up in it. We've got a gorilla suit, and we need someone to dress up in it." I was like, "Oh man, come on! I just want to go along and just be a participant in, it's like one of the attendees for once, and not have to think about doing any of that." And I just wasn't really sure about it. And then about 10 minutes afterwards, I messaged him back and said, "Of course, mate, if you need some help, I'll happily do it." So yeah, to get dressed up in this gorilla suit, but I was the one that was like, "Listen, if I'm going to do it, you've got to get my watch on the outside." And when I come out of the train, which is what happened, I came out of the train, and when they were all gathered outside the carriage, and I came out to get a bit of a laugh, really. but I said to Mark, I said, look, I've got to do the watch thing, that Roger does.
Oh yeah, that's
So
yeah.
we created that a little bit and just had a bit of fun with it. But it was funny because it was obviously quite a hot day, and Mark was kept saying to me every sort of minute or something, if you're hot, just go back in and get changed. No, it's fine. I was like, no, I'll stay, because loads of people want to get pictures. So I stayed so everyone got the pictures they wanted. And he said, oh, are you sure? I know it's really hot in there. I said, look, Mark, whatever happens in the next 20 minutes, I can promise you that it was going to be nothing compared to standing on Buckingham Palace forecourt on 110 degrees weather in full military uniform with a trumpet in my hand. I said, I can handle this.
Yeah,
But
definitely the best man for the job, that one.
well, I just used to working in heat. It was fine. But yeah.
To be fair, it probably didn't have many people signing him up for that one, I wouldn't have thought.
No, I was a bit sort of unsure, but it was all good bit of fun. I mean,
Yeah.
there was
Great
some
fun. Good
people
on you.
wanted to jump in and get a photo, but I think quite a few people were there were a number of people that just sort of were like, yeah, I'm going to stick away from that one.
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, X-Ray Stu's just got a comment here. Say you'll be wearing the gorilla suit while at the O2.
No, I can say for 100% certain there will be no gorilla at the O2. And it's funny because Martin did offer it to me. He said, oh, you can have it for the O2, because obviously what I did with the feathers last year. But
yeah,
I can't see a way where there was good context to the feathers, and it was also in its own way more that sounds ridiculous to say this, but more subtle than coming out in a gorilla suit. And I just think it would just be too slapstick to come out. So no, there will be no gorilla suit. I can promise you that.
Well, I'm sure that won't affect anyone still attending. We're still going to enjoy it without the gorilla suit. But
I think some people probably would not attend if there was a gorilla suit.
Yeah, 100%. To be honest, though, I think it's the transition between, because obviously when you come out with the feathers, you could still play, you could still do so, but in a gorilla suit, you're going to be limited to what you can do. To be honest, so you wouldn't be able to do it. I think it'd be quite heavy as well and hot, I would imagine.
Yeah, but the thing about the gorilla, the feathers was that there was a good line in a joke in there. It's like the thought process, if you're sitting there as a Bond fan, is, oh look, the motorcyclist survived, whereas the gorilla suit would just literally be a man walking on in a gorilla suit. There's no story with it, with our one. It was, and also the music that we did before that moment was the music from that scene going into Bond 77 straight after it. So it was part of that moment, whereas with the gorilla suit we would just literally be sort of jamming it in for a cheap laugh.
Yeah, it does need it, but that worked really well with the feathers last year. Absolutely,
yeah, it was fun.
It was good, and this is a great picture of all the cast and crew together.
Yeah,
look at that, all still there. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? 40 years on and still, has that appeal. And it's great to see so many faces turn out as well.
Yeah, special mention for Christina as well. She was just amazing all weekend. Such a lovely lady, and just really, just so friendly and well, they all were, but she just has such a radiant personality. And every time she was sort of talking or doing anything, she just had everybody in the palm of her hand. I thought it was, just amazing.
And she's coming to the Cue the Music show, isn't she? In October?
She is. Yeah. So
looking forward to meeting her there. Yeah, fantastic. So we got on to last night's gala. So there's the GB007 fan club hosted a big gala. You were there playing, weren't you, Warren, last night?
Yeah, I was there, and I was there as a guest afterwards as well. So that was really, really nice to be able to enjoy it, relax. It was a great night.
Yeah. And obviously John Glenn got awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award. So
got quite emotional as well.
Oh, really? I can imagine.
Yeah.
There was a complication of clips as well, wasn't there? And some people were speaking from different films and stuff.
Yeah, there was loads. There was probably about 6 or 7 alumni from his films on a video messages. Who was there? I'm trying to think of names. My mind's gone blank. There was quite a few from all the different films though. Oh, mine's gone blank. Oh
So
yeah, and
who
we
comes to
also
us there?
yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those. But
Lynn Holly Johnson
yeah,
was one.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And that was on today for your eyes only. So it's quite apt actually. But yeah, no, lots of people said it was a great evening. I mean, Julian was there. He said it was great. Obviously, other people there. Terry Mountain was there. See, Madeline Smith was there. You had
yeah,
loads of people. Paul Weston.
yeah. Carolyn Monroe.
Yeah,
Who else was there? Martine Beswick was there. Yeah, there's quite a few. Valerie
obviously,
Leon was there.
all the fan club presidents, and David Zaritsky was there from the Bond Experience, and he always does a great job of hosting these things anyway, David. When you give him
Yes.
the mic and give him that opportunity. Obviously, he's there as well for the Cue the Music show, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. No, he's an absolute pro at that stuff. And yeah,
Yeah,
he was on form last
excellent.
night.
Fantastic. So, yeah, no, congratulations everyone at GB007. It's really great that we raised a lot of money. Do you know how much was raised, Warren, in the evening? Or
I didn't hear the amount at the end. I don't know if anybody's watching can say, but it must have been quite a lot because the auction had
yeah,
23 items in it, and some of them were going for between £1,000 to £5,000. So
wow, that's
yeah, I would
incredible.
be surprised if it was if it was less than 40 or 50 grand just from the auction, let alone any money they made from tickets as well and other bits and
Yeah,
pieces.
absolutely. Yeah, well, let's
Uh,
hope they raise so much money for the charities. That's great. That's a
yeah,
lovely picture there. Got
yeah,
AJ there sneaking in as well. He always sneaks
yeah,
into pictures, doesn't he?
yeah. He's the one taking them a lot of the time. He's
He
always got his phone
there
out
he is.
snapping.
He is. But when you go on like a location tour, he's great because he knows exactly where to get the best shot.
Yeah,
So we was doing a Fleming tour, and he was like, "Well, if you stand here, you can get the sign, you can get this in." And it was amazing. So yeah, he knows his stuff when it comes to that. But yeah, fantastic evening. We go on to your show in October. So would you like to
yes.
tell us a little bit more about it?
Oh, so it is our only show that we're doing this year. I mean, it'll be a year almost to the day, well, bar a week, I think. It was a year since our last theatre show, and although we might do a couple next year, yes, it'll be another good few months before we do another one. So, somebody asked earlier. I thought you disbanded on the comments. I noticed, and we had, but we came back after Christmas when the demand was just so high. It was amazing actually to feel the love that we did from the community and our followers in particular. And I must have had over 1,000 messages, emails, posts, reviews, text messages, all sorts, just saying, please don't give it up yet. And I think we came away from that evening going, you know what, let's just maybe just take a bit of a break and come back. And that's what it's turned into. It's turned into a break, and we're going to be back with a bang in October. And this year, I wanted to sort of mark the anniversaries of From Russia with Love 60, Live and Let Die 50, Octopussy 40, not only with music, and we will be doing some music from those films, but also with some guests. So, as you can see from the photo there, we've got Mishka and Grishka and Christina Wayborn from Octopussy, and we've also got Martine Beswick from Russia with Love. And we probably could have, had Maddie from Live and Let Die if we'd asked her, but Maddie's done so many of our shows. I felt like, for a bit of a change up, it'll be good to sort of maybe go with some new faces for this year, to kind of keep things fresh. And so Dave Zariski is going to actually host the whole thing, which is incredible. And the others are just going to come on and do some sort of Q&A within the concert and introduce some numbers from their films. So it'll be, as ever with Cue the Music, it'll be a roller coaster ride of emotions and various pieces of music that some you'll expect and some you won't. And hopefully everyone's going to have a really good time as always.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, and it was great because last year it was so emotional as well. That evening, I remember sitting there, front row, and it was just everybody together. Everyone as one. It was a great celebration, and it was like we come away and we still. I mean, we played the your music at our event last year. We still kind of kept it going, if that so to speak, um, and the great news that you were coming back, but not only just coming back in a doing your regular shows, but coming back in the most biggest form you could to do the O2 is
Yeah, I was so
you know
excited when the opportunity came up to play at the O2 because I've never actually played there as a musician, which is quite bizarre, really. I was talking to a couple of people in the band last about who also haven't, and we were saying it's ridiculous that it's been there 23 years. It's just never worked out that we've done any other gigs there, other artists or whatever. But but obviously with the connections to the world is not enough. When the opportunity
yeah
came up to hire this place, I just jumped at it because it was such an iconic location within its own right, let alone when you then factor in for a Bond concert. I knew it would really capture the imagination of people, especially, if we're going to come back to try and do something a bit different and fresh. And when I went and saw the venue and did a recce, it's a fantastic venue. It's the Indigo within the O2. There's obviously the massive arena, which Madonna was going to be playing next door on the same night. But obviously, because she's ill at the moment, I don't know what they're doing now. But we've got the Indigo venue, which is still inside the dome, and it holds 1,900, which is a big old venue. And the actual setup of the seats and the viewing angles and everything else is going to be just brilliant, better than last year, I think.
yeah. And obviously, is that the biggest venue you've played?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's not the biggest venue we've played, but it's the biggest venue we've done as a theatre show. I mean, we played at the NEC in Birmingham for a private event for Dixon's,
Oh wow.
what Dixon's called now, PC World, aren't they? Whatever. Yeah. Would have been about 10 years ago, and that there was about 5,000 people in there, but it doesn't really count as for me because those private events, we're not there to be the center of the attention. We're just there to provide the wallpaper, really. Whereas with theatre shows, people are very much coming to see our concert. And we've grown from playing in like a 200, 300 seater theatre up now to playing in a 1,900 seater theatre. So it is the biggest theatre. Well, it will be the biggest audience that we've ever played in front of as a theatre show, which is incredible.
Yeah, that will be absolutely electric. We've got a comment here from Steve Barber. Before the show, myself and the mate are thinking of doing over the O2 when you walk over it in tuxedos.
Mm,
Not sure what time yet, if anyone fancies joining us. This is a great thing about these events because it brings
yeah,
people together like the night before. I'm sure people will come together and do something the night before as Bond fans do. That's what we do, isn't it? And
yeah.
that's pretty cool, that. And what was I going to say? So have you got any tickets left for this show?
Yeah, we're doing really well with sales actually. We've sold 1,130. So we'll probably pass last year's record in a week or so. And then we've still got 400 seats left, 450 seats left, and then the rest are all standing tickets, which I don't expect to sell all of those, to be honest. I think it'd be amazing if people want to do it, but I think you'd be pretty hardcore to come and sit or stand through a quite long Bond concert. So yeah, if we sell out all the seats, I'll be well happy with that, and we're well on the way to doing that with still more than 3 months to go. So yeah, it's looking good, but there are still tickets available, and anybody watching. If you go to the website, our website, cuethemusicshow.com, click on see the show, and you can follow the link through to buy tickets.
Yeah, make sure you do that, guys. It's going to be one hell of a show with all them guests as well being there. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You're obviously doing a pre-show party, is that correct? An after-show party?
The after-show party is completely sold out with a long waiting list. The pre-show party, there's still a few tickets left. That's like a meet and greet kind of drinks reception, which will run from 3 till 4:30 before the show starts at 5. And we've got some lookalikes there as well. So a bit of fun, some photo opportunities. So yeah, if you want to get any pre-show tickets, then you need to just get in touch with me because they're only available through me, not through the venue website. But yeah, I've not got loads of those left now either. So it's all selling pretty well.
Yeah, it's fantastic to hear. And guys, yeah, just get on that straight away because it's an opportunity you don't want to miss. To hear Cuda music in such an iconic venue and to have all of them people with us, and obviously David Sawicki there as well. It's going to be amazing. So,
Mm.
yeah, definitely go on to that. And the one thing I was going to ask you about, because come up with a new concept, obviously recently announced. It's the let's get it up here. Cue the Music Retreat. Now, I'm really excited about this because this was something that I think it sounds like you've had a passion to do for a very long time. It's just figuring out how to do it the right way. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, not even so much figuring out ways to do it the right way. Maybe a little bit, but maybe a little bit of refining. But it was more having the support to do it. I've always had mad ideas, but in the past they were just a mad person having ideas. Now there are people that like what we do and follow it, so I can come up with these mad ideas and people go, oh, I actually think it's a good idea. So yeah, the idea is that for the people that really want to kind of get behind the scenes of Cue the Music, and I've seen it described as up close and personal, I've seen it described as unplugged. Unplugged, I kind of understand where they're going with it, but I always think of unplugged as more of an acoustic thing, and it's not. You're going to see Cue the Music performing with the same sound as normal, but the difference is that on the day you can go and stand wherever you want in the room, and you can come on stage, and we're going to encourage and invite people on the stage to come and stand within the band. So if you want to go and stand next to the drum kit, or you want to go and stand next to the keyboard player, or come and stand next to me, you can really get inside the whole process. And we'll take questions as we go. We're going to have like a request list. So the set list will be made up of what people have voted for that are going. We've got some really cool tech set up. So you'll be able to use our little in-ear systems. We'll have quite a few of them dotting around the room, and you'll be able to put headphones on and you'll be able to make your own mix. So if you want to dial in and just listen to the keyboards on their own, for example, you can do that. Or if you want to listen to keyboards, guitar, and third trombone, you can do that. So you can sort of really tailor the mix and see how it all goes, and we'll explain how we create the sound. And then for some of the songs that will probably come up in the requests, for an example, if somebody requested Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, it's probably been a decade since we last played that, so I'll have to kind of put it back together. So people will say, oh, when do you rehearse and how does it all come together and stuff? So people have to watch that process as we sort of put something back together that hasn't been played for 10 years and then perform it. And so that whole weekend, that's the Saturday. Then we're going to have like a drinks reception, 3-course dinner after that, where the band will be there as well. We're going to have a bit of a fun GoldenEye computer competition in the evening, and just a bit more of a social. And then on the Sunday we're going to get up and we're going to rehearse for our James Bond jazz concert that we released a recording of last year. And over lunch on the Sunday, whilst people are having a buffet lunch, we're going to perform our James Bond jazz cover versions, which is this really unique fresh versions of the James Bond themes done in a jazzy kind of lounge jazz a la John Barry style. And they really are very much a fresh take, and as I said, very, very popular with the people that have the CD or have heard it. And yeah, the rooms for the hotel sold out in about 18 hours. There are 48 rooms in the hotel, and they're sold out in 48 hours, which is amazing. 18 hours. There is actually, since now, there is one come up for sale because somebody can't make it, and we are selling tickets for the daytime part. So if you just want to come along on a Saturday and see the whole behind the scenes part of it, you can do that, and tickets are again available on the Cue the Music website. I think I've put them on. If not, I will get them on, or just drop me an email and I'll sort it out with you.
Yeah, fantastic. That sounds like a great way of actually. I like the idea of the GoldenEye tournament as well. How cool is that? I don't think that's ever happened before, has it?
I know. I'm crazy that it hasn't really. But yeah, I've just checked the Cue the Music retreat, which we're calling it a Cue the Music retreat. Yeah, it is. You can buy tickets for the daytime part on my website or our website, cuethemusicshow.com. Yeah, so we're just a bit of fun, really. I mean, if you want to play in the Golden Knight tournament, you can, and if you don't, there'll be lots of people socializing. So it won't necessarily be for everybody. Tosca isn't for everybody. So you get involved if you want, and if not, you can just enjoy the evening and have some social time.
Yeah, fantastic. That's brilliant. And obviously, I think it's a great way of actually seeing out all the hard work that you guys do behind the scenes. Because I think a lot of people don't see that, how you set up and how long it takes to get everything right before you go on. Because all we see is the final article, and it's always top quality. But we don't see obviously, you guys lugging things around and getting things right, and sound checks and all of that work that goes
Yeah.
into it. So it'd be an interesting aspect, definitely.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any questions for Warren? I mean, you've answered a lot already about everything. I think we've got Steve with a
Do I
question
get
here.
more than a minute to answer these ones?
Yeah. Oh no, you get a bit longer. You get a bit longer here,
Okay,
especially
that's
with
good.
that music as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Steve says, "Hi, Warren and Matthew. Warren, with all the Bond anniversaries coming up in the not too distant future, are you planning something you cannot talk about yet?"
I wonder what he's referring to. No. Well, I've got over here, just off screen, I have a list on my notice board here with my plans for the next 10 years worth of concerts. And they are all linked to anniversaries in some way, and the guests I'd like to get for them as well, and the cues that I want to do each year. So I have an idea of what I'd like to do. But yeah, I'm not talking about that only because it's always difficult to talk about these things before you've actually got everything in place. Otherwise, if I start talking about the people I'd like to get and everything else, and then it doesn't happen, then I've got everyone's hopes up for nothing. So yes, always got plans on, but nothing specific at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe you've got a whole 10 years planned out. This is exciting stuff. So you obviously know you've got like a pathway, a map of where you want it to go,
Well,
which is
that was
great.
the
That's
key to
fantastic.
coming back, really, because many, 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 many reasons that I announced the end of the show sort of 18 months ago. One of the things was that, Cue the Music has had this upwards trajectory, and there's always been the thing of outdoing the last concert. And, all people have always come and they've said, "Oh, I don't know how you keep getting better." And I didn't want to be riding that wave back down again. So part of the key to when we just sort of talked about, well, maybe we should keep it going was, well, what can I do? Have I got anything left in the tank to top what we did last year? And actually, when I sat down and really thought about it over the sort of first few months this year and started writing a dream team or wish list or whatever, it became quite quickly clear there was still a lot that I could still do, which surprised me. I didn't think, I thought the well would be dry. And like with this Cue the Music retreat as well, that's obviously a new thing that's coming that hopefully we can maybe turn into an annual thing. So, there are still a lot of things that we can do, and I'm really excited about. But more than anything, I'm just really chuffed that, I'm still coming up with these ideas. So as long as I am, then the future's bright. I think it's just keeping it fresh and not going stale.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing, especially after you've done so many concerts, so many tours, and it's like, how can we make this different, and how can we keep people coming back? But I mean, already the two, obviously the October show and the CUNA Music Retreat, two, completely fresh ideas, spins it on its head almost, which I think is fantastic. And yeah, well done to you for doing that, coming up with it, and following through on it, because it's not an easy thing to put together. So
No,
yeah, fantastic stuff.
thank you.
Okay, we've got Tim. Has Warren and band ever thought of doing an all instrumental version of the show? No disrespect to Kerry and Matt.
Oh, poor Kerry and Matt. Yes, I've thought about it. Yes, I've thought about it, but I've never really got past that stage, because maybe one day there would be a big enough demand to do it. but I don't think we're there yet. You know, we need to realistically be able to do 800 to 1,000 people that all want to see an instrumental concert, and there isn't that yet. So no, not seriously, but you know, I have thought about it. I mean, in my mind, if we were going to do that, it would probably be a soundtrack performance. And I have a bit of a dream for doing, for the On Her Majesty's Secret Service 60th anniversary, doing a performance of the whole soundtrack, but potentially doing it back at Piz Gloria. Now, that's a, you know, setting sights pretty high with that. But that would be my dream gig, and that would obviously be pretty much instrumental, apart from We Have All the Time in the World.
Yeah, and that's a great soundtrack to do.
Mm.
And obviously, you've been to Piz Gloria and you played there before. But yeah, no, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. It's only what 5-6 years we've got to wait, so it's sure it'll come around quick. But
Yeah.
yeah, and obviously, like you said before, it's difficult because not everyone wants the instrumentals. I remember they re-released kind of Bond 25. They did like a vinyl and CD, didn't they, recently? I think the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra of
Yeah,
all
they
just
did. Yeah.
instrumental tracks. Yeah, I mean they're great, but it's like you say, it's not for everybody. I think sometimes it's do you really want to hear all the themes, or would you want to hear instrumental of some of the cues from the film? Because for me, some of the cues are fantastic, and you wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily want to hear, you know, title themes. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But what's your
No,
view
I
on
don't
that
think,
one?
and I don't think that's what Tim means, though. I don't think he would want
Yeah,
instrumental versions of the tracks, of the theme tunes. You know, I'm
yeah,
sure Tim will comment in a minute, but I'm 100% sure he's talking about doing an instrumental concert of cues. And yeah, I would love to do that if there was enough demand for it, but it's that demand that would need to be there, because you'd
yeah,
need to have a big enough audience to pay quite a lot of tickets, because you'd need to really be able to pay everybody on the show for 2 days work, because you would need to have a day to rehearse a whole concert, and then it starts to become really expensive.
yeah, yeah. So it's one to maybe put on the watch list for the future. Maybe it's
Yeah,
an idea.
absolutely.
See
Yeah.
what happens. Yeah. Christopher Lawrence asks, "Are you going to be doing a Blu-ray of the O2 event?"
Wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we will be. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Is it 4K again? Because you did 4K
Yeah.
last time, didn't you?
Yeah, I won't
You
be
had
going
all
back
the
from 4K
yeah,
now once we've done it, because it just looks amazing.
yeah, and you had all them cameras as well, all them amazing. You know, I think there was one that was just a mobile camera moving across the stage, that sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah, we've got 2 of them this time. So yeah, there will be lots of cameras. The venue actually has big screens that they can put either side of the audience, which I've paid for. So there will be live footage in the room going onto the screens as well, which would be pretty
Wow,
cool. So yeah,
yeah,
you'll
that's
get
actually cool.
close-ups of this ugly mug.
Tim says, "Oh yeah, correct, an instrumental concert of Bond cues." Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
so
thought he
yeah,
meant.
yeah. Graham says the instrumental version of Surrender is better than the actual song, better than the title song. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
always a classic, that Surrender. I think it's a shame it's on the end credits because it has, you know, David Arnold uses it throughout the film, and I think it's a shame that isn't as a title theme because it would flow so much better through that. But yeah,
Yeah. There's
always an
another
interesting
one from
one.
Tim, actually. I think you skipped over. Can you
Oh, have
see
I?
the, after the O2 show, that one?
Do apologise after the O2 show.
Just above the
Oh, yeah,
greying ones. Yeah.
there we go. Sorry, Tim. Apologies for that. After the O2 show, does Warren and band intend to tour the rest of the country at different venues over the next few years?
Yes. We will probably do a couple of shows next year, just because, well, I want to kind of look after the venues that we've done really well at in the past, and not there's so many Bond concerts out there now. It's just nuts. And the ones that we have a really good relationship with, and the ones that sell really well, I don't want to lose them. So although I could probably do without them, do without doing the shows next year and keeping the break. I think we probably will do 2 or 3 shows next year alongside another one in London. And also, the ones in London are going to always be sort of linked to these anniversaries. So we won't do all of the songs because there won't be room. But the 2 or 3 that we do outside of London next year will have all the songs, and it will be more of the traditional Cue the Music show with all the title tracks. But then the following year, then the intention is to do a kind of a sort of mini tour of, maybe 10 to 15 dates. And I would like to think that by the year after, I'm really kind of going to be setting a bit of a pledge to our sort of followers that we will do a show in Scotland and Wales and Ireland. I think it's, high time that we did that. And then I would like to really like to sort of build to a point maybe the year after that. So we'd be talking 27, that we really start to build to a point where we could possibly go and do a show in the US. Now, it's a really ambitious desire and idea, but if we start thinking about it now, 4 years time, we could potentially do it. The biggest problem about playing in the US is where you do it to capture the most people. And because I know if I sent a questionnaire out to our followers, we'd have pins all over the US. And if I just did one show, people are going to be traveling thousands of miles to see a show. They're not going to do it. It's very, very difficult to do a please all show, but I would love to do one or a couple in the US at some point in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hardest thing with the US is it going to be getting the equipment over, isn't it?
Oh, it would cost like, there wouldn't be much change in 6 figures, I would say. It would be insane. It would be insane. But I don't think it's impossible. I think if there's enough support there, we could possibly do it. And if one of the big costs, of course, is the visas. So if I was to get visas for everyone in the band, and we took 13 of the band across, plus the sound engineer, you're talking £14,000 plus for just the visas. But once they are done, they could potentially be done for 3 years. So that would mean that we could potentially go back the year after or 2 years after on the same visas, which would bring the cost down quite a bit and make it more viable to do a couple of trips there. So yeah, it would be a dream. Let's just see how things go.
Yeah, exactly. And Tim again says, our American friends David Saritsky and Joseph Darlington will be filled with a US Cue the Music show. I mean, there's a lot of American, Bond fans out there. There's so many. But I'd like to say that in this country, it's okay because it's a lot smaller. It's not too much to drive or to travel to one part of the country to the other. But America is very fast, interconnecting flights, this, that, and the other. So, but I know there's a lot of fans in Scotland on our Shake and Not Stir group all the time. It comes up, when are you doing one in Scotland? I've noticed that question come up a lot when Cue the Music's mentioned. So Scotland, I know, is very popular.
Yeah.
Steve says, will there be any promotional products to buy at the O2?
Yeah, I'm looking at it at the moment. I mean, obviously we've got a new program. I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Oh dear, sorry. Actually, that wasn't too bad. Normally when I sneeze, I get about 5 or 6. I'm one of those people. Yeah, we've got a new program that Ruben Wakeman and I have been working on. I mean, I say we. Ruben's doing all the incredible design work. I'm putting together, bringing all the content together for sending it to him. Bless him. So working on the program, but I'm also just at the moment, actually, in the next couple of days, I'm going to be looking into some new fun collectibles. I had a really good idea from the event last night to get some casino chips made with the Cue the Music logo on, and they might work out like they might be about £3 or something for a casino chip with the Cue the Music logo on. I'll be interested to see in the comments if people think that's a good idea. Also thinking about getting a little teddy bear with the Cue the Music logo on the t-shirt, and they found some of the teddy bears I don't think are very nice, but there was quite a cute one that I was looking at this morning that possibly look at. And then also, what was the other thing I was looking at that I thought would be quite cool? I've got it on here. I was just surfing around looking for some inspiration. Oh yeah, what was it? Oh yeah, it was like a little tool, a little key ring kind of toolkit thing. It's got a torch and you can clip in some different screwdrivers. It would just go on your key ring. Thought that was quite
cool.
good. The Cue Music logo
Be
on
like a Q gadget.
Yeah. Well, we did have the old. I don't know if did you ever see our Cue the Music gadget pens, which you can't buy them anymore, which is a bit of a shame. So I was looking to see about renewing them. I don't know if I've got one here, but they. I don't think I've got one handy here, but it had the logo on it, but it had a screwdriver under the top, and it had a little what do you call it? Measuring.
Oh, like a ruler.
Yeah, but you had a ruler on it as well. But what do you call when you got the little bubble inside? What's it called?
Oh, spirit level.
Spirit level. Goodness me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had one of those in it, and it had a little tip for iPads as well. So they were quite fun.
Yeah. Well, they're quite expensive to produce, though, I would gather.
Fridge magnets, someone suggested. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. My wedding save the date of poker chip fridge magnets. That's a good idea.
Poker chip fridge magnets. I'll have to see whether you can get poker chip fridge magnets. The thing about the poker chips, I mean, fridge magnets sounds like a good idea as well. The thing about the poker chips, I was thinking, is that I was maybe thinking about getting in sort of 3 or 4 different colors, and then you could collect a little set of them, and they might look quite good, in a Bond display cabinet or something. If you had a red one, a black one, a blue one, a green one, something, I don't know.
That's always pretty cool. I mean, we looked into memorabilia for the first time last year for our Shaken Not Stirred event, and the best thing we come up with was heated mugs. And the only downside to that is they are quite expensive to produce.
They are really,
but they're pretty cool. Yeah.
The other thing is t-shirts and polo shirts are so. It's almost. I've got to the point now. I've just written off, doing it because.
Yeah.
You to do it, you need to have female, small, medium, large, extra large, probably XXL, and then males you need a few small, but then medium, large, extra large, 2XL, 3XL, possibly even more. And then you've got to have enough in every single size, so you end up just taking like a van load of polo shirts to every gig, selling like 5 or 6, and at the end of it you end up with a load of small left over and a few odd ones and stuff, and you just lose a fortune. Plus it costs about 20-ish quid to get them made nicely with an embroidered logo, and I think that really the price point for something like that is probably about £20 that people would want to pay, but you'd have to sell it at £30-35 to make it even viable, because although I could sell something for £35, I lose the VAT on that. So 6 quid of a £30 sale goes to VAT, so that takes it down to 24. And of the £30, the venue keeps 25%. So we're talking what, 750 that the venue keeps. So 750 taking off a £30 sale, taking off the VAT and the venue cut, straight away you've lost. My maths here on the fly, £13.50. So that takes you down, to £17. No, £16.50 on something that you've paid £20 to get produced.
Yeah, turning into an episode of Countdown there for a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, a bit boring, but it's like that's the
good.
headache of running these things, because it's the same with all of these things. You have to work it all out. Otherwise, you end up selling stuff for a loss. And I have done that with some products I've bought were just a disaster. And the mugs were one, actually. So that's why you started me on it. I bought mugs, and in the end, I was just giving them away. And they're not cheap to produce. They're like, you're talking £8 or £9 for a nice quality mug with a logo on. And again, I think a mug really wants to be about the £5 or £6 mark for selling it.
Yeah.
So, and in the end, I was trying to just give them away for £1, £2, and they take so much space up.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a certain amount of mugs you can have. I mean, I must have loads of mugs, and it comes to a point where, you run out of space for that one.
Yeah.
What would be what? I tell you what though, all these fridge magnets, they like the idea of this. I know Lena says she'll have one. Rebecca Andrews said so. I think this is good. Lena says, "How about cue the music tote bags?"
We've had those.
Yeah,
Yeah. Again, they are a similar thing though, where they are ridiculously expensive to produce, and the price point you sell them at ends up being too high for what it is.
yeah,
To otherwise losing money. I did have some cheap ones made, and they actually came out. The price of them was really, really low per bag, and I didn't even really sell them in the end. I would just give them away as like a thank you, or sometimes when people bought a load of stuff at the shop, we'd just give them away. Do I
yeah. I
get a
mean,
discount?
it's always difficult. I love
No,
that.
but it's a
good
good
try.
idea.
Yeah. Oh well, if you
Yeah,
don't
thank
ask,
you.
who knows?
Thank you, Steve.
What's the most popular piece of memorabilia that you've sold at your shows? Wait, the program or something
The
like that?
program, yeah, by far.
Yeah,
CDs do all right as well. I'm going to write that down. So fridge magnet. Sorry, I'm making a note because that was a good idea.
that's right. Good work, Steve. We've got this. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
perfect. Oh,
So
apparently,
Lena,
Steve,
let
you
me
got
ask. This is turning to a bit of a market research. Lena, let me ask you. She loves tote bags when you go to events. So what would you pay for a tote bag? Honestly. Here's a question for everyone watching. Get involved, right? How much, and put it next to it, the item. How much would you pay for the following items? So you're going to need to put the item and then the amount. What do you think you'd want to pay for a fridge magnet with the Cue the Music logo, a poker chip with the logo, tote bag with the logo, and what was the other thing we said?
fridge magnet. Was it the teddy bear key ring or
Teddy bear could do that one. Yeah, not a key ring. It was like it
no?
was
What was it?
it was about 50. Yeah, probably be kind of about that big sort of teddy bear with the logo. Quite a cute one though. Not some teddy bears are ugly. I'm surprised that
Yeah.
people say £15 to £20 for a tote bag.
Yeah. So Lena reckons 20 quid.
Wow.
Rebecca Andrews said 15 to 20. That's quite expensive though, isn't it?
But it needs to be a
a
good
tote would
quality
probably
one,
cost.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when we had them for our event last year, and we sold a few, but we had to. I mean, it cost £12 to make. I think 10 to
Yeah.
£12 to make, and the quality of it, I honestly don't think they came out as well as I thought they would. To be
Yeah.
honest, yeah, cheaper than everyone else on the fridge magnet for the idea.
8 to 15 quid for a magnet. Oh, Becca, you're a star for saying you'd pay that, but I don't think anybody else would. I would say
says £5 for each item, but
yeah. Fridge magnet about £5. Yeah, max. I think.
That could be the most popular piece of merchandise. These fridge magnets, actually, now I reckon.
Yeah. Well, these lot better buy them now. They're egging me on to go and get them made.
Well, I think Steve should definitely get one.
Yeah, Steve's buying 12.
Definitely
He's already talked himself into it. 12 at.
I wonder if he
at
manufactures them.
£10.
We Googled it and we find out he's like the manufacturer of all these fridge magnets.
Yeah.
Corner of the world market in fridge magnets. Oh, great. Shall we play a few tracks? Shall we ask people what they want to hear?
Yeah, we'll play a couple of tracks, but yeah. So we'll put some music on, cue the music. Tell us we'll take requests. What tracks would you like to hear? You can have some theme songs. We might have a queue if I mean, obviously you have to ask one that we've done.
Yeah, well, that could be quite tricky, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise it would just be me with my trumpet on my own playing something, and I'm not doing that, by the way. Writings on the Wall, okay, and we'll do the Matt version of Writing on the Wall.
Yeah, Oh, that's a great version, that one.
Here we go. So this is Matt's version from the West End last year. All right, it's there. You can pop it in there.
Yep. Right, here we go, guys.
I've been here before, but always hit the floor. I've spent a lifetime running, and I always get away. But with you, I'm feeling something that makes me wanna stay. I'm prepared for this. Never shoot to miss. But I feel like a storm is coming. And if I'm gonna make it through the day, then there ain't no point in running. This is something I gotta face. If I risk it all, would you break my fall? How do I live? How do I breathe? When you're not here, I'm suffocating. Wanna feel love run through my blood. Tell me, is this where I give it all up? For you, I have to risk it all. 'Cause the writing's on the wall. A million shards of glass that haunt me from my past. As the stars begin to gather and the light begins to fade, when all hope begins to shatter, know that I won't be afraid. If I risk it all, would you break my fall? How do I live? How do I breathe? When you're not here, I'm suffocating. I wanna feel love run through my blood. Tell me, is this where I give it all up? For you, I have to risk it all. 'Cause the writing's on the wall. Yeah, the writing's on the wall. How do I live?
That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Absolutely
Thank-
brilliant.
I was busy searching tote bags and fridge magnets.
I bet you've got a list now, haven't you? This has actually come quite
Yeah.
handy, this
Oh,
list tonight.
absolutely. Yeah. I had a couple of ideas, and this is added to it, definitely.
Yeah, I do think Matt does a better rendition than Sam Smith.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. It's very kind.
absolutely awesome. What was
Do you want
the
any?
other request, guys? I think there's a
There
few
was.
more
Yeah, let's go
back
back.
further up now.
We had Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Backseat Driver. Should we do Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Backseat Driver, and finish?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's
All
do
right. All right, I'm gonna have to find Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Might take me a minute here. Here we go. Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang loading now.
There we go. Okay, so this one, Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Here we go.
He's tall and he's dark, and like a shark, he looks for trouble. That's why the zero's double. Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He's suave, he's cool, and he can soothe you like vanilla. The gentleman's a killer. Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Damoiselles and dangers have filled the stranger's past. Like a knife, he cuts through life. Like every day's his last. He's fast and he's cool. He's from the school that loves and leaves out. A pity if it grieves him. Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Not a fool. Demoiselles and dangers have filled the stranger's past. Like a knife, he cuts through life. Like every day's the last. He's fast and he's smooth. He's from the school that loves and leaves up. A pity if it grieves up. Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Not a fool. Oh, he's no fool. He's no fool. He's no
Don't forget to subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and check out our library of over 100 tracks from the Bond films. You can also join our...
Okay, fantastic.
Sorry.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
Oh,
Must
got to
have
be
been a few years ago.
8 years, maybe even 10. Yeah, long.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 10. Yeah, sorry, got the play out thingy at the end there.
Yeah, I
10.
saw that. I'd cut that short. That's all right. We did skip a question from Tim. This was a really
Yeah,
good one,
he's not
actually.
happy about it.
Who would be your dream star guest to appear at one of these shows?
So I've got a few. Luciana Pulizzi, definitely.
Yeah.
Maud Adams would be another. and then going really crazy like a Judi Dench, maybe.
That would be cool.
Yeah, some probably unrealistic, but Samantha Bond would be another one.
Oh, that's doable. I think, yeah. I think she could do that.
I'm
She
I'm
seems like a really
basically
nice lady.
I'm getting into my wish list over here. But it is
Give too much
a
away.
wish list. Yeah, no, but it is a wish list. So, just because I've
Mm.
got it written down that Naomi
I mean,
Naomi
I
Harris.
think, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, she'd be brilliant. Or even Colin Salmon will be pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. But you can we can all come up with
You
names.
could
I could
write,
say
yeah.
Timothy Dalton and Piers Brosnan if I wanted to. Doesn't mean they're gonna flipping
Yeah.
turn up, does it?
Well, no, they probably
It
won't.
depends how big your checkbook is,
Yeah.
really.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, that would be a good one. Shall we do a bit of backseat driver?
Yeah. Are you gonna finish with this one?
Well, what we do is, I'll tell you what. If there's any more questions, and then what we'll do is we'll finish with backseat driver. See if there's any more questions. So we do the last question, last decent question for tonight.
All right.
Then I just want to mention our Shaken Not Stirred event dates.
Oh, of
They're just
course.
going to be
Yes.
happening
Sorry.
soon. Yeah, no,
Gotta
that's
talk about
fine.
that.
It's fine. Yeah, nearly forgot, to be honest. If we don't have any more questions, then I'll just go straight into that. So yeah, last year we hosted a big event at the Pinewood Hotel for the 60th anniversary. You've had your 60, which went down really, really
Great
well.
name. It's the
Yeah,
best name for an
to be
event
fair,
ever.
it was strange how we come up with it as well, because I think we both threw some ideas. We do like a bit of innuendo, like have a bit of a laugh about it, and we think, you know what, that'd be. I was just I would thinking of iconic scenes from the film. There must be something, and that line, I was like, well, that's perfect, and it just. I text Nick, and he said, no, we've got to go with that, and
You've
yeah,
set the
the rest
bar
was
very
history.
high now.
To be fair, this year we've struggled with a name. It's made it extremely difficult now to actually come up with any names, because all of a sudden we've got we set the bar too high. I think that's the problem with that one. So yeah, it's one of those. But this year I think we've come up with a decent event name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And we've got some great guests. It will be at the I think it'll be at the Pinewood Hotel again. It definitely will be.
Yeah.
And the event dates will come up. We've got a little teaser here, a little picture. Just trying to find them all. Here we go. So
October. That's not
will be.
your event.
That is not our event. No
But
copyright
thank you for
intended.
publicising it again.
Yeah. There we go. So basically, this is it. So it's Friday 27th to Saturday the 28th of October. However, we may be doing something on the Sunday as well. Depends on. We've left it open because we know Bond Stars is doing their event. We do know that, and we're aware that obviously a lot of people would want to go to that, and that's not an issue. So we didn't schedule anything in just in case, because we do want people to attend their events as well, because they are pretty awesome. So yeah, so that's an open date. But yeah, Friday 27th, Saturday 28th. The Friday, there's not much going on the Friday. Friday's literally the evening. Because like Chris Wright did it, obviously, of the Octopussy event. That JBR had a little get together on the Friday evening, a little social event. I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. Actually, I wasn't there, but I heard about it. And I think that's a typical, thing that we should do before an event. So I've scheduled the Friday in just so
Yep.
we can socialise. I
Good
can't give too
idea.
much away at the moment, but it'll be great just to come for some of you that want to come down a day earlier, stay the night, so you're fresh for the Saturday morning. Come have a chat. Hopefully there'll be a few guests there, so that'll be pretty cool. Obviously, Saturday, 28th of October. Now, a lot's been redacted because we don't want to give too much information away, because we are still finalising information and things like that. But
Yeah.
they are the dates. Yeah, and I think in 2 weeks maybe we'll have all our guests. We'll do a big announcement. We'll do what guests we have so far, what's going to happen, what we're celebrating, and there's a lot of things. We've got X-Ray Stew on board. he's doing the artwork for the event, and
Wicked.
he's got a few things up. He's. I tell you what, I can't give anything away, but the stuff that he's producing for this event is going to be amazing. So yeah, look out for it, and there'll be some surprises on the day. That's all I can say. So it's just too good. If we put it up there, it would just I think we need to keep some sort of element of surprise for the event. So yeah, so that is that. So we'll keep you posted. But I'd like to say thank you very much, Warren,
My
for
pleasure.
coming
Thank
on
you for having
tonight.
me. Thank you.
Being a fantastic guest and letting us know about the fantastic shows coming up and the retreat, and very exciting time for you. Busy year ahead.
Yes, when it's not supposed to be, but it will be.
Right, is Backseat Driver in the stream? Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you all for coming today, guys, and watching, and thanks, Warren, for being a fantastic guest. We'll see you all very soon.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everybody.